Hi everyone, this is a factory tour of the new copper ingot factory built in the Dune desert. So this factory is to help with the supply of copper ingots, which there is a massive demand here in the Dune desert because we have copper powder production which requires over 7,000 copper ingots per minute, and this factory has been built to help with that. It can make up to 4,800 copper ingots per minute. I'll just give you a little look around the outside. Been built to the standard factory design with all the most recent upgrades and enhancements. So it's elevated above the terrain. Help miss all those rocks and stuff like that. The supplied by the rail viaduct. We've got 2 feeds of iron coming in here and 1 of copper. Now, these are actually 1,200 feeds. I don't know why these aren't reporting correctly at the moment. Perhaps it's because they're not being fully utilised, who knows. Or there's a bug, but we'll see. So there's copper coming in from over here. 600 copper there, 600 copper back there underneath that factory, and this is one of the reasons why the factories are elevated, to make sure that we can still utilise the copper nodes, sorry, the ore nodes, not just copper. And then we have 2 feeds, 1,200 feeds of iron coming in for some distance away, but not a whole great deal. There's another node of copper there which could be used. That's a normal node, that's 600. But we've sourced copper from elsewhere. So there's an iron node. And the other iron node is all the way down there. So, all of that feeds back up this way, feeds south in the Dune desert. Let's get up onto the rail viaduct, because there's another feed of copper which we brought in. This is an exploratory rail viaduct, not finished. Struck out, heading towards the sulphur node, with the aim of seeing whether or not that was a better route in. And then I found a pure copper node down there. So that is routed in into the rail viaduct. Comes all the way in. Let's jump in. Comes all the way in here, and then is routed this way. And along the rail viaduct. Don't need that. All the way to the copper ingot factory. Goes in there. So we've got some asymmetry on how the materials are routed in, but there aren't any input platforms on this. There are 3 output platforms. So we have 3 output platforms of copper ingots, and each one of these corresponds to the input platforms on the copper ingot, sorry, copper powder factory right next door. And that supply is only a fraction of what it actually needs. It can supply 4,800, but this needs over 7,000 ingots per minute. So there are 2 trains coming into each of these platforms. To produce copper powder. We have a copper powder train loading up over here. It's waiting for a full load before it goes. But this factory will help. Well, this copper ingot factory will help alleviate the load that's on the other copper ingot factories that are presently supplying that factory. And that's really part of the philosophy of the build. I need more, build more. Right? They're small chunks of production that are containerized. They're almost black boxes that all you have is you have materials come in and materials come out. And that's it. So let's go down to the factory floor itself. We have a lift. Oh, it's here already. We have the under platform logistics. So under each platform there are buffers. And this is where usually we bring materials in. So we'd have 2 input platforms normally and then 1 output, but in this case it's 3 output platforms. And this leads us into the rail viaduct as well. And then if we go down 1 floor, we go to the factory floor itself. On the factory floor, this is where I brought the ore in. We have our buffers for the ore here, or generally materials in. And in this case, we've got 3 complete sets of foundries that are creating copper ingots. They're producing copper ingots. So 3 complete banks. And then the input comes at this end, and then the output comes at this end. I think you'd agree it's quite clean. And let's go down to the logistics floor. Then the logistics floor, all of that belt work is hidden underneath. All of our ingots coming out from the production lines and then going up to the platforms above. And it looks quite tidy. And then have an exit to the external access. Now this void under here could eventually be for the batteries. One of the things I use it for. Right now, this is actually exposed to the outside world. This is where you would drive a vehicle through, etc. But there's flexibility in the build to decide what you want to do with it. Anyway, that's a tour of the new copper ingot factory. Recently built. I mean, today. That recent, considering how old the build is. A new addition, the first copper ingot factory in the Dune Desert to be built. The Dune Desert really relied on the swamp, the copper ingot factory there, but now this one actually will service at least 50% of the demand from the factory next door. That's really how I build. I build something that is a nice package, and then if I need more, I build more. So I don't know where next. Maybe we build a copper ingot factory in the Titan Forest or the Northern Forest. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch. Greatly appreciated. I hope you like the build. Any questions, do drop me a comment. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.